in three.
Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your two?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and I've got two videos today. First one is in my Nagato, and the second one's in the Miyoko. Yes, that's right, you heard. The first video is in the Nagato. No one was more surprised with the results of this battle than me, I can assure you. Before we get too far into it, I want to remind everyone that you have today, September 22nd, and tomorrow, September 23rd, until midnight Atlantic Standard Time to enter into my book giveaway. Remember, the only requirement is that you're a subscriber to the channel. The books that I'm giving away in this order will be The Convoy Navy. This is True Stories from Canada's Atlantic War, and this is by James B. Lamb. The next book I have is War at Sea, Canada and the Battle of the Atlantic. This is by Ken Smith. I'm also giving away Unsung Heroes of the Royal Canadian Navy, Incredible Tales of Courage and Daring during World War II. This is by Cynthia J. Farron. And then the last one I'm giving away is Convoys of World War II, Dangerous Missions on the North Atlantic, and that is by Dorothy Pedersen. So keep in mind that you have until September 23rd at midnight Atlantic Standard Time to enter into the contest to win this. The link is in the video description, so just be sure to click on that. All you need to do is put in your first and last name and your email address. I need the information just in case I have to send it out of country. I'm in Canada, so if I have to send it anywhere other than Canada, I need to have that information so it passes through customs. I'll contact you by email, choose 4 random people, and mail those out to you. So be sure to enter into the contest. Now, getting back to the battle, I am on Strait, and I wasn't going to go into the northern part of Strait and try and cap that A point. No, there was no need for it. You can see things are heating up pretty quickly here in the battle. There is this Colorado off in the distance that I'm putting shots into. But more importantly, the Allied team, my team, seems to be conglomerating towards the middle, and that's where I want to be. I'm in a battleship, so I want to have support of other battleships and whatnot, just so that not everyone is focusing me and killing me, right? Trying to do self-preservation, I suppose. Anyway, I continue to put shots into the Colorado, not doing a whole lot of damage to this guy. Yeah, no big deal. I mean, he was pretty far out, and it's I find it hard to judge how far to lead these guys, especially in the Colorado, because they're going so slow, but anyway, I'm working on it. Here's a Furutaka. So I'm reloading, kind of lining up on him. I see the torpedo indicator zone. I'm like, oh crap, what's going on here? Take a look. Nah, it seems alright, but it looks pretty hairy over there, right? There's a number of destroyers, so alright, we're going to get a quick shot into this Furutaka. There it goes. And now we're going to look at these destroyers, see what they're saying. Immediately I focus my secondary batteries on the destroyer, and then bam. Get the Furutaka. That wasn't too bad at all, I didn't think. Quite happy with it, and it was a first blood, so excellent. And I didn't think I was going to do that. So there are still more torpedoes coming in, and I do have to try and avoid these somehow. There's an Aoba over there. I don't think he's riding the blue line. I think he was just trying to turn and using the line to turn around, right? So I'm waiting for that to happen before I put shots into him. Reloaded, shots are going out. Able to dodge the torpedoes, not a big deal. There are several other destroyers around though, so do need to keep a close eye on what's going on to make sure that I don't accidentally run into any torpedoes. The Aoba comes back around and I think, oh great, I'm going to get a nice shot into this guy. Keeping in mind I do still have torpedoes coming in, so I need to be aware of those. But no big deal, put some shots into him, did a considerable amount of damage, not too much. I really wanted a Citadel, didn't get it, but whatever, doesn't matter. Lots of planes flying overhead. I find with the Nagato has enough AA on it to defend itself against a moderate air attack. If it's anything more than that, I find you really need to have support with you. Luckily I do have support, so a lot of those planes get shot down. Put some more shots into the Colorado, did about 5,200 damage with that one shot, so it wasn't too bad, but he's still back there, still far enough away that the cruisers and the destroyers that are in my immediate vicinity are really the bigger threats for me right now, and those are the guys that I really want to focus down, right? Just makes sense. Here comes a destroyer, he's popping up again. I put my guns on them just in case I forget. I always try to put my secondary batteries on any destroyers that I see, especially when I'm in my battleship, just in case I forget. It's always done, and there we go. Now, shooting at rather trying to aim at this Aoba, right? I don't need him around anymore. He doesn't need to be here. Let's just try and get him. Do have some torpedoes coming in, and I thought that this was going to go really awful. I thought it was going to hit my ally here, and he was going to hit one of those torpedoes. Luckily, he was smarter than me, managed to dodge the torpedoes, and we kind of just scrape against each other as we're turning away. So not a big deal. Now the Aoba. Bit of a drink. So we're lining up on this guy, put some shots into him. Didn't expect to actually kill him. But I got him. That was awesome. That was great. So second kill. Aoba's gone. Now there's still some destroyers and there are still cruisers. So need to dodge more torpedoes here because I've got that not a Furutaka, sorry. I think it was a Hatsuharu that kept harassing me this way. Now here's a Nagato, right? So I was a little concerned about this guy. Figured he was going to do some pretty heavy damage to me. And there's his first salvo. Wasn't too bad, but it was the first bit of damage I did, so I wanted to get this guy gone as soon as possible. So I figured my first shot would probably take him halfway, and then maybe the next shot will get him. No, 23,000 damage, he's gone. That was awesome. So about this time, you'll notice in the chat someone types, "Stop cheating." Now, I don't cheat at all, right? I wholeheartedly against cheating. Don't support it in any of its forms. So I didn't even comment to that comment because I know I'm not cheating. But I thought that was hilarious. I mean, I did get 3 kills pretty quickly all at once here, so. It kind of, I could see how someone would get frustrated enough to just lash out and say something illogical. Anyway, there's still this Aoba and there's still the Hatsuharu, right? And we've got this island coming up. I'm not going to let the destroyer trick me. No. It's not going to happen. There's still the Colorado out there, so I was a little concerned that maybe he was going to pump some shots into me here, because I am slowing down. I'm not going to go around this island and let the Hatsuharu just, give me some good news in terms of torpedoes and then blow up. This has been a pretty good game so far. I would have still been happy if I would have blown up, but I really wanted to try and live, so we're just going to, stop the ship. Just stop the ship. Some people might be enticed to closely stick to the corner of the island there and come around as the destroyer is shooting torpedoes. That sometimes works. It does. You might still take 1 or 2 torpedoes, but in this situation wasn't willing to do it because the Aoba is still there and the Aoba has torpedoes as well. So I did not want to get torpedoed at all, but more importantly I didn't want to get torpedoed by 2 people at once. Now the Aoba is there and he's close enough that my secondary batteries get to open up. That's great because I have a number of guns as a secondary battery on this battleship. Why not use them, right? So I tried to line up carefully on that guy and I wanted the kill. I got a little greedy. I wanted the 4th kill, so I should have held back, but whatever, it doesn't matter. There's a Gremioshki out there. This guy has been a pain in my side since the beginning of the battle, so I figure I gotta at least try and take him out. I didn't think my chances were good here at all in getting this done. Because it's a destroyer, I'm in a battleship, usually it doesn't end well. Usually you'll just miss every shot you put into him, but I take my time, lead him well, and then put the salvo into him here. So we can see the shots go out, and there he goes. Wonderful. No time to celebrate though, because it's Hatsuharu. He's angry. Did just get Confederate, so a little high five to me. But he's angry and he wants me gone. So I have to keep the stern of my ship perpendicular to him, so when he fires his torpedoes I'm easily able to dodge them, just like I'm doing now. Again, he's close enough for my secondary batteries to open up on him, so that is great. And I do have teammates around me trying to help. Take the last shot on him, finish him off, 5 kills. That was awesome. And I dodged his torpedoes. What more could you ask for, right? Oh, that was great. And it was so surprising. I don't do this well in battleships at all. Typically, not at all. Now, just on a side note here, you can see I do have planes coming in. Yeah, so I gotta kind of be careful with these guys. Again, you know, Nagato doesn't have the best AA. So there's the torpedo bombers. I immediately need to turn into the torpedo bombers to dodge them. It'll throw their aim off, and if the CV carrier or CV captain is controlling them manually, he's gonna have to readjust. So you can see him doing this here. He's readjusting. Finally, he just says, "Screw you, Thotgor," and he shoots for the ship behind me. I don't know who this Fuso driver was, but I'm sorry, buddy. You really should have maneuvered and turned into them. But to each their own, I suppose. Now, as at this point in the battle, I am really greedy. Really greedy. I would make the argument that here I shouldn't be shooting at the carrier at all. No, I should be shooting at the Colorado. But, you know, I can see the 6th kill, right? I want that 6th kill. And it's really important to me. I just want it, so I'm blinded by everything else, and I'm just going to shoot at this Ranger. I really should have reconsidered, but it didn't happen. I mean, if I would have shot the Colorado, I probably would have had a better chance of getting that 6th kill that I wanted. He was driving away from me, so it would have been harder to line up on him, but he was on lower health. What I was hoping to do with the carrier was to get, like, you know, a nice salvo into him and get some citadel hits and just do massive damage and maybe even one-shot him. That's what I could see. That's what I had dreaming around in my little head of mine. Didn't work out. Luckily, though, the team is here and they're able to fire into him. So no big deal. I mean, he's down below half health now. I'm still vigorously trying to get this 6th kill. I really want it. You know, first blood Confederate, 5 kills, just not enough, but just didn't have enough time. Overall, the results aren't too bad at all, but again, I was so surprised. Like I say, I don't do this well on my battleships at all. I play them because they're big and cool, and that's why I play them. I am top of the team overall. I wasn't really surprised with it, I suppose. What did surprise me is that I more than doubled the top of the person on the enemy team who was top of the experience list. So that, you know, that was nice. Damage done was pretty good as well, but not as high as you would expect because most of the ships I took up were only at like half health, right? So that would make that where that comes in. Now, second clip I have is also a shorter clip. I'm in the Miyoko. I'm divisioned up with Blood and Guts and Bezzy. Blood and Guts is in his Colorado and Bezzy is in his Ranger. I'm in the Miyoko. You'll also notice this is one of the rare occurrences where I've decided to dolly up the old Miyoko. I don't do it often. I don't... well, there's actually a funny story. I have a friend, and he also plays this game. He doesn't play it half as much as I do because he doesn't have much time. But he just got to rank 8, and he just unlocked his camouflage for his ships, right? So he was like, "Oh, you know, yes, it's so awesome. I put them on all my ships and blah blah blah." And I was telling him how I never do. Just I don't want it. It's too expensive. He's like, "What the hell are you talking about? 12,000 silver. How is that too expensive?" And I was, you know, trying to rationalize it with him and say I'm trying to save every penny, but just makes me sound like such a crazy person, I guess. But whatever. I mean, this was an older replay anyway, so this was before I had the skin mods downloaded. Now I have the skin mod downloaded. My ships look great. I didn't have to pay a goddamn thing for it, so everyone's happy. To get back to the battle, though, like I was saying, this is a really quick match. Sorry. What ends up happening, or how the initial spread goes here, is that for the most part on this east side, for the majority of the time, I'm fairly alone. I've got a destroyer with me, I've got a cruiser with me, and I think this Miyogi right here sticks with me as well. And that's really all we have. But we play super aggressive. For whatever reason, this was another one of the battles where I came in and I wanted to be really aggressive. I mean, I was having a lot of fun that night with Bezzy and Blood and Guts. We were playing a bunch of battles, and it was, you know, it wasn't really about performance. It was more about just having fun. So that's what I was trying to do, and just have some fun here. So, gonna be really aggressive and try and do that. The plan was for me just to go on this east side, just take a look, see what I see, and try and push in as far as I could. I knew I was probably gonna die. I had planned for it, I mentally prepared myself for the inevitable death, but I wanted to take out as many ships as I possibly could before that actually happened. So that's sort of the mentality that I have going into this game. Now, Bezzy does have his planes out there in front, which is excellent because he's giving me a heads up of things coming in, good enough that I can see this destroyer right here, so I know to switch over to high explosive from my armor piercing. Do put a few speculative shots in there, but they hit the mountain and don't actually do anything. It doesn't matter, they were armor piercing anyway. Now I'm loading high explosive. So I know that they have a destroyer here. I know that they have a few cruisers. You can see them there in the background. So yeah, not too bad. Thinking, alright, I can definitely take these people out. You can see my team is kind of staggered at what's going on. Now obviously Bezzy knows what's going on, Blood and Guts knows what's going on. Blood and Guts is actually on his way over here. He's in Colorado, just really slow, so he can't get here just quite yet. But the other people on the team are starting to realize, like, hey, I guess we're pushing east, so they're all turning around from the west and they're now coming to the east. Which is really nice. We actually do use their support in the end here and really need it. Torpedoes did come in, but it's not a big deal. I was easily able to dodge those, so whatever. The more important thing though is that we do have some allied ships that do end up staying in the back on the west side to defend our base. Those people come really, really in handy in the late game when we're capping, and we'll talk about that when we get here. There are torpedo bombers coming in, you can see them there. Yeah, bit of a threat or a scare I suppose, but they weren't even going for me, right? They were taking out my Miyogi friend there. Bit more drink. And yeah, so now I can see more of the enemy ships. And I'm still thinking, yeah, it's no big deal. What I was going to do here is use the range of the Miyoko to my advantage, right? So try and stay between 15, 16 kilometers away from people and shoot in. Not only does it allow me more time to avoid their incoming shots, but it also makes it harder for them to aim at me, right? Vice versa though, it makes it harder for me to aim at them, but I'm fairly good at aiming at times. So there is my destroyer friend. Put some nice shots into him. It was high explosive and he's down to maybe a quarter health left, maybe. I don't end up finishing him off though, which kind of sucked. I really wanted to get that guy gone, but someone in the team does finish him off, so all worth it in the end. Here we have, is this the Atlanta? I think it is. Yeah, maybe the Atlanta. Anyway, put shots into that guy. And switch over to armor piercing. It is in fact the Atlanta, so excellent. High five for Thotgor. But I need to keep putting shots into this guy, right? Gotta get him down because these Atlantas can pump out shots, and where I have a destroyer friend with me, I want to make sure that I get the Atlanta gone because I don't want my destroyers to suddenly get killed by the stupid Atlanta, excuse me. So that was the thought, but I'm going to keep the distance. I do still see battleships over here, so want to make sure that I keep my distance from them. They do have a carrier over here as well, so don't really want to be the center of his focus, because in terms of AA support, I don't have much. I only have my own guns, and the Miyoko doesn't have that great of AA for you know, massive air assaults. Again, it's moderate AA coverage on the Japanese Miyoko here. See more enemies off into the distance, but more importantly what I notice is that one of my allies is coming up the channel. There's the Atlanta again, so I figured this is my chance. We're going to have to take out the Atlanta. So I put some shots into him, just sort of, you know, let him know I'm here, and then I'm going to try and get a full broadside into this guy. But you can see right here the amount of fire that this guy is able to pump out. It is incredible. These Atlantas are just able to put out so much fire that, I mean, again, you can understand why I want him gone, right? I've got cruisers and destroyers supporting me. I can't have this guy around, so I put another salvo into him, and there we go. Excellent. He's gone. Don't need to worry about him. And that's a kill for me for the game, so excellent. You can see also Bezzy earned clear sky down there. So to take it back to Bezzy and what he's doing down there is he is helping now to defend the western flank with his bombers and torpedo bombers and his fighters, obviously. So he's shooting down the enemy planes. We're trying to support theirs, and you know, really working out well for Bezzy. Now, Blood and Guts is still trying to catch up to us. You can see that he's now on the east side, moving up, but things are getting a little hairy over by our cap. We have started to cap the enemy base, so, you know, no holds barred at this time for me. I'm going to shoot right into the enemy base, and I'm going to start supporting the allies that I have here, and we're going to start taking ships down. I do get hit by some dive bombers. I didn't see them at all, but it doesn't matter. Able to repair them right away. Blood and Guts, though, has an important decision to make, and he makes the right one, which is good. At this point, he's now able to fire into the enemies that are capping our base. So instead of trying to catch up to what we were doing up here, he decides, no, screw this, turns around, and he's going to start putting fire into the enemies that are in our base. So that was excellent. I mean, not only him, but Bezzy was down there as well, and the allied ships that we have down there supporting them as well. They were a big component in how we won this so quickly. Because if it wasn't for them, you know, the enemy would have capped us out. Important thing to note, though, is that we did start capping their base sooner. And the ships that we have here, you know, we've got more ships than the ships they've left behind. They only have these 2 ships that they've left behind to help support, or help defend their base. Whereas we've got more ships than them defending our base, and none of their ships are turning around to help these guys defend their base. So, man, that's so confusing. Their base and our base and his base and whose base, I don't know. Anyway, we are still going. We're still capping their base and still putting shots into anyone who comes around. I've got this, I think it's in New York here. We're going to put shots into this guy, see what we can do, and, you know, ultimately just get any damage at all to him and get him gone so that we can cap in relative safety. They do have 2 ships. You can see a 3rd ship is kind of coming back, but he's fairly far away, so we don't really have to worry about him just yet. Bit of a drink. What else do we have? Yes, capping the base. Still doing that. And more importantly, though, again, not to... Well, no, you can't talk about it too much, I suppose. The people who are defending our base, you know, they really, really pulled it off for us. You can see that the enemy is, you know, really trying to cap their base. They're kind of starting to pull their shit together here. They're kind of like, all right, okay, cool, we're going to send people back to help defend our base, because they realize things are getting really close, but it's all for naught. Look at it. We've got this. This was a good game. It was a quick game. It was an aggressive game. It was also a lucky game. If you play this aggressive, I don't find you're going to get this lucky all the time. More often than not, you're just going to have crazy derp moments. On a side note, when you have those crazy derp moments, be sure to send them in to me, thotgor1@gmail.com. I'll put a nice video together and we can all laugh. Little plug about that. Anyway, overall results weren't too bad at all, but it was such a quick game that, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of time to get rack up a lot of points, a lot of experience, a lot of credits, but still did decently overall. Bezzy and I, anyway. Blood and Guts was still on the list. So to finish up, you know, be sure to enter into the prize to win one of the books. You have until September 23rd, midnight Atlantic Standard Time, to do that. Link is in the video description, and as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.